It always starts with a whisper in the industry, but tonight, it's not a whisper, it's a warning. A chilling message coming straight from 50 Cent himself, a man who has survived beefs, bullets, betrayals, and Hollywood politics and is still standing. But even he admits this time is different. This time, the danger isn't coming from the streets. It's not coming from rappers. It's not coming from rivals in music. It's coming from celebrities, the ones you see smiling on red carpets, hosting charity galas, posting inspirational quotes. The same ones who are now reportedly scrambling behind the scenes after the Diddy documentary dropped, terrified that their own secrets might be next. And according to 50 Cent, some of them aren't just panicking, they're trying to eliminate him. And he said it with a level of seriousness that sent shockwaves across the internet. Because if anyone knows how dirty the entertainment industry can get, it's 50. If anyone has seen the backroom deals, the NDAs, the cover-ups, he has. If anyone understands what powerful men do when they're cornered, he does. And now that he's the face of the Diddy expose, now that he's pulling back the curtain on everything the world wasn't supposed to know, there are celebrities, executives, and moguls who allegedly want him silenced before the next round of receipts comes out. But here's the terrifying part. 50 says he has the names. He knows who's plotting. He knows who's shaking. He knows exactly who doesn't want him alive long enough to release part 2 of the documentary. And the deeper you look into the connections, the timelines, the phone calls, the panicked statements, the more you realize this isn't paranoia. This isn't exaggeration. This is a war being fought at the highest level of entertainment. And 50 Cent is calling everyone out. Long before the Diddy documentary shook Hollywood to its core, long before lawsuits, raids, interviews, and secret footage sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. Long before the internet began speculating about who knew what and who stayed silent. There was one man who always warned everyone that this industry wasn't what it seemed. 50 Cent. For years, he's been telling people that Hollywood isn't built on talent, it's built on secrets, on power, on leverage, on intimidation, and on the unspoken rule that everybody protects everybody so long as nobody talks. But the moment someone breaks that rule, the moment someone exposes the truth, they become a target. And that's exactly what happened the moment 50 Cent attached his name to the Diddy documentary. What started as a bold executive producer move quickly turned into a full-scale operation. One that threatened to expose not just Diddy, but the network of celebrities, executives, politicians, and billionaires who allegedly enabled him, protected him, or benefited from the machine around him for decades. 50 didn't walk into this blind. He knew the risks. He knew the backlash. He knew the level of power he was challenging. But what he didn't expect, or maybe he did expect but didn't think it would escalate this fast, was how many celebrities would panic the moment footage leaked, lawsuits spread, and insiders began speaking. Because suddenly, the temperature in Hollywood shifted. People who used to laugh about 50's trolling online went quiet. People who used to dismiss him started calling their lawyers. People who used to mock him were now whispering in private lounges, terrified that someone would tie their name to Diddy's behavior. And when part 1 of the documentary dropped, exposing things everyone thought would stay buried, that's when everything went nuclear. Behind the scenes, things got ugly fast. There were celebrities deleting photos, scrubbing old posts, unfollowing Diddy publicly while still calling him privately, flying out of town, meeting with crisis PR teams. Agents were panicking, calling networks, calling producers, calling anyone who could tell them whether their client's name would appear in part 2. Executives were scrubbing digital traces. Lawyers were drafting statements just in case. Publicists were crafting innocent narratives. But the most terrified people, the ones who know they were present for things the public never saw, the ones whose names never leaked, the ones whose reputations are built on being clean, the ones who would lose everything if 50 exposes the next layer of truth. And according to industry insiders, these are the exact people who began moving against him. Because here's the reality. Diddy didn't operate alone. You don't maintain that level of power for decades by yourself. You don't avoid consequences unless people help you avoid them. You don't silence victims without a network behind you. So when 50 started pulling the threads, the whole carpet under Hollywood began unraveling. People started distancing themselves publicly, even celebrities who once praised Diddy as a genius. Late-night hosts made awkward jokes and quickly changed the subject. Influencers who used to party at Diddy's house suddenly claimed they barely knew him. But behind the scenes, the panic was real, and 50 noticed. He saw the calls, the messages, the suddenly blocked contacts. The back-channel whispers, the executives pulling out of deals unexpectedly, and the celebrities he once considered colleagues acting cold, distant, or threatened. He saw something shifting in the air. You don't get to his level without understanding danger. He survived 9 bullets, corporate sabotage, rap beefs, movie politics, and more lawsuits than most people can imagine. When the energy changes, he feels it. So when 50 said publicly, "Some of these celebs trying to get rid of me," people knew he wasn't speaking metaphorically. Because what scared these celebrities wasn't the documentary, it was what else 50 might release. And here's where everything gets even darker. Rumors started circulating, coming from insiders close to the documentary production, claiming that 50 has footage and testimony that hasn't been released yet. Not just about Diddy, but about other celebrities. People who were allegedly present at parties. People who allegedly saw things. People who allegedly participated. Some of these names, if revealed, would detonate the entertainment industry. So what do people with power do when they feel cornered? They don't negotiate. They don't apologize. They don't wait. They eliminate threats. At least that's what 50 is hinting. Because in his mind and in the minds of millions watching, the sudden frostiness from powerful figures isn't coincidence. It's strategy, damage control, a preemptive strike before he exposes the rest. And the timing is suspicious. 50 announced that part 2 is coming, that he's not done, that the next round is even darker, that more names will be involved. Right after that announcement, a wave of celebrities, ones who had been quiet until now, suddenly started acting strange. Some posted cryptic messages. Some made fake jokes on live TV. Some unfollowed 50 from burner accounts. Some reportedly told friends they were terrified of what might come out next. The ones panicking the most? Those who used to show up at Diddy's events. Those who used to brag about his parties, those who used to defend him publicly. 50 himself said, "They scared of the truth, they scared not me." And that brings us to the twist, the moment everything shifted for him. The moment he realized this wasn't just backlash, it was a coordinated push, a threat, a warning. From people in the highest levels of the industry. People whose names would break the internet if he ever exposed them. And according to 50, they are trying to stop him before he does. The real chaos began the moment 50 Cent went from hinting to naming the danger. Not directly, not yet, but in a way so sharp, so pointed, so unmistakable that Hollywood froze. He wasn't joking. He wasn't trolling. He wasn't promoting a TV show. He was warning the world. It started on Instagram, where 50 posted a cryptic message with a picture of himself laughing, not a playful laugh, but the kind he uses right before exposing someone. "They think I don't know who trying to move against me. I see everything." The internet erupted. Fans joked at first. They thought he meant rap rivals or old beefs resurfacing. But then 50 deleted the post, uploaded a new one. This time dead serious. "It's not rappers, it's celebs. Scared I'ma tell what really went on at them parties." That line snapped Hollywood in half. Because everyone knew exactly which parties he was referring to, the ones whispered about for years, the ones you had to give your phone up for, the ones protected by NDAs, bodyguards, and powerful people who controlled careers with a single phone call. The very parties tied to Diddy. And immediately after 50 posted that, something strange happened. A-list celebrities, people who normally didn't even acknowledge drama, started posting subtle, panicked messages. One actor posted, "Hollywood has become dangerous, protect your peace." A major pop star wrote, "Some people won't survive the truth coming out." Another celeb simply tweeted, "Pray for the loud ones." Nobody mentioned 50. Nobody mentioned Diddy. But the timing was too perfect, and 50 noticed. He screenshotted their posts, circled specific emojis, and wrote, "Funny how y'all scared now." And then things escalated. Because suddenly, 50 began receiving calls. Not normal calls, not friendly calls. These were lawyer calls, high-level agent calls. Publicist representing someone very powerful calls. According to 50, "They asking me what I'm gonna put in part 2. Why they asking me that? Unless they got something to hide." And that was the moment he realized this wasn't concern, this was fear. Fear of what he might release, fear of who might talk next. Fear of what footage might exist. Fear that the documentary wasn't about Diddy anymore, it was about the system holding him up. Hollywood operates with silence, secrecy, gatekeeping. But 50 wasn't playing by their rules. He never had, he never would. And these celebrities knew it. That's when the pressure campaign began, subtle at first. Deals mysteriously falling through, events quietly uninviting him. Executives refusing to take meetings, a sponsorship silently withdrawn, a studio delaying a project with no explanation on paper. It looked like coincidence. In reality, it looked like a warning. 50 went on live and said, "They trying to choke my business out. Slow me down. Watch if I stop, I won't." But here's where the story gets dark, because what happened next wasn't about money. It wasn't about shows. It wasn't about opportunities. According to 50, people started watching him. He said cars began following him, same ones, different days. People he didn't recognize were suddenly outside his gym. Someone attempted to approach him backstage without clearance. A message arrived telling him to drop the dock and walk away. And then came the, not from random trolls, real accounts, verified accounts, celebrities. 50 blurred the names but posted the messages. "Don't involve me. Delete my footage. If you mention me, it won't end well. Stop digging. Drop it." The last one chilled everyone. You don't understand what you're playing with. This wasn't fear anymore. This was a threat. And 50 responded exactly how the world expected. He laughed, then posted, "If y'all trying to scare me, you better try harder." But behind the scenes, people close to him said this was the first time in a long time they'd seen him tense, not afraid, but alert. That's when insiders dropped the first twist. Some of these celebrities weren't protecting Diddy. They were protecting themselves. Rumors began swirling that several major names, Oscar winners, chart toppers, producers with billion-dollar franchises, were allegedly at the same events, the same houses, the same private gatherings that victims described. And according to people inside the documentary team, Part 2 contains heavy checkmark names, heavy checkmark photos, heavy checkmark security logs, heavy checkmark witness accounts, heavy checkmark private jet manifests, heavy checkmark hotel lists, heavy checkmark audio clips, heavy checkmark video footage with blurred faces, but recognizable outlines. In other words, 50 doesn't just have gossip, he has evidence. Evidence that could destroy careers, evidence that could end marriages, evidence that could spark federal investigations. A Hollywood insider tweeted anonymously, "If 50 drops what we think he has, this won't just be a documentary. It'll be an extinction-level event." And now, the celebrities who know they're vulnerable aren't asking him politely anymore, they're coordinating. They're meeting behind closed doors, calling in favors, leaning on executives, contacting networks, trying to cut distribution deals, trying to freeze funding, trying to block releases. One insider even claimed 2 A-listers met with a studio head and pitched a plan to publicly discredit 50 before the documentary drops. But here's the part that shocked even the industry. The attempt backfired. Because 50 caught wind of it, and instead of backing down, he doubled down. He posted a picture of himself grinning with the caption, "Imagine thinking you can cancel me." And then he warned the entire industry, "Part 2 is locked. Even if something happens to me, it's still coming out." That line shook Hollywood to its core, because now it wasn't just a documentary. It was a ticking time bomb, and the people trying to silence him. They know when that bomb goes off, their names might be on the shrapnel. The moment 50 Cent declared that Part 2 was already locked, everything in Hollywood shifted from quiet tension to full-blown panic. The calls stopped being subtle. The pressure stopped being indirect. And suddenly, people who hadn't spoken to 50 in years began reaching out, checking in, pretending to be concerned. When in reality they were terrified that their names, their faces, their presence around Diddy would make them next. But the real escalation began when a leak from inside the documentary's production hit social media. A leak claiming that Part 2 wasn't just about Diddy's alleged crimes. It was about the network of celebrities who enabled them. And that's when things started spiraling. Because insiders revealed that the documentary is structured like a puzzle, with Part 1 establishing the timeline, and Part 2 exposing the support system that allowed the behavior to continue for decades. According to these leaks, heavy checkmark major actors, heavy checkmark Grammy-winning artists, heavy checkmark producers, heavy checkmark models, heavy checkmark billionaire, financiers, heavy checkmark top-tier influencers, all make appearances in the raw footage, testimonies, or behind-the-scenes accounts. Not as victims, as witnesses, as participants, as protectors, as collaborators. That's when 50 posted the message that broke the internet. "They scared of the wrong thing, I ain't even started yet." He said it casually like he was talking about lunch, but the impact was nuclear. People immediately began guessing which celebrities were most at risk. Lists went viral, clips resurfaced. Old photos from Diddy's infamous parties were pulled up and zoomed in. People were identifying silhouettes in the background. Creators began pointing out, why was this celebrity always around? Why did this actor suddenly go silent? Why did this singer unfollow Diddy right when the raids happened? Why is this billionaire's jet always in the same city as Diddy's parties? But the darkest speculation came from one viral TikTok. The celebrities trying to eliminate 50 Cent are the ones he hasn't exposed yet. The comment section erupted with, "It's always the ones who panic first. If 50 names them, careers end. Part 2 is going to be the biggest collapse Hollywood has ever seen." And that's when the first shocking reveal dropped. A well-connected industry insider, someone who has accurately predicted scandals before, posted, "50 has recordings, not just interviews, actual recordings. Some of the voices on those recordings will shock people." The internet lost it. Voices, recordings of WHO, talking about what? Rumors spread like wildfire. Heavy checkmark high-profile actor talking about what really goes on at Diddy's mansion. Heavy checkmark superstar singer laughing about wild nights nobody better mention again. Heavy checkmark media mogul discussing NDAs. Heavy checkmark two celebrities plotting to take someone out before he talks. People begged the insider for names, but he refused, then said something even scarier. The people trying to silence 50 are doing it because they know their voices are in those files. The entire situation went from dramatic to dangerous, because now it wasn't about reputation. It wasn't about cancel culture. It was about self-preservation at the highest level. And then, as if timed perfectly, 50 himself confirmed the rumors without confirming them. "Y'all really think I'm afraid of y'all talking on them tapes? Y'all was talking crazy. It's too late, stupid." That was the first time he directly implied he has the tapes, he has the voices, he has the evidence. Hollywood freaked out. Celebrities began posting cryptic spiritual messages. "Protect your energy. God knows the truth. Some people want to tear others down." Fans dragged them immediately. "Why are you all panicking? Why suddenly talking about truth now? Feeling guilty?" But the escalation wasn't done. Because out of nowhere, a security guard, someone who worked multiple Diddy parties over the years, did an anonymous interview and said, "People don't understand how deep this goes. Some of the biggest names in entertainment were there. They're terrified of 50 because he's the first person who doesn't care who he takes down with him." He added a line that shook viewers. "If the documentary drops the footage, I think it will. People are going to prison." That interview was shared millions of times. It made the news. It forced countless celebrities into emergency PR meetings. But the most explosive moment arrived when another insider, a former personal assistant to a major celebrity, revealed this. "There's a group chat of powerful celebrities trying to coordinate a response to 50. They're scared he'll expose all of them in one sweep." That message was blurry, leaked, and half screenshot, but one phrase was crystal clear. "We can't let him release part 2. The internet froze. This wasn't paranoia. This wasn't speculation. This wasn't conspiracy content. This was a group chat of celebrities plotting together to shut 50 down. Fans said what everyone was thinking. This is RICO-level corruption. Y'all scared because y'all guilty. If they're this desperate, imagine what 50 has. And then 50 did the unthinkable. He posted a photo of himself in front of a massive vault door with the caption, "Everything in here is scheduled. Even if I disappear, it's still dropping." Hollywood panicked so hard you could feel the fear in their silence, because this meant, heavy checkmark, the documentary is preloaded, heavy checkmark. The files are backed up, heavy checkmark. The release cannot be stopped, heavy checkmark, even if someone tries to harm 50. Heavy checkmark. The truth still comes out. That was the moment the story escalated from drama to a silent war. A war between one man, who refuses to be intimidated, and a coalition of wealthy, powerful, terrified celebrities who know their secrets are seconds away from being exposed. And 50. He hasn't even unveiled the worst part yet. The second 50 Cent showed that picture of himself standing in front of the vault. The vault that he says contains everything Hollywood doesn't want the world to see. The reactions across the industry weren't just loud. They were frantic. It felt like a digital earthquake. The whole entertainment world jolted awake, and suddenly the quiet whispers turned into screaming chaos. TikTok creators went insane. Some were laughing in disbelief. Others were pacing around their rooms with their cameras shaking. Some looked like they were physically sweating as they tried to explain the magnitude of what 50 just revealed. One viral creator said, "This isn't a documentary anymore, this is a detonation, and Hollywood is terrified." Another creator stitched the vault photo and just whispered, "If 50 has this pre-scheduled, it's over for a lot of people." But TikTok wasn't the only platform combusting. Twitter, or X, became a battlefield. Hashtags trended instantly. Number 50 got the vault, number Hollywood panic, number drop part 2, number expose them all, but the most chilling one. Number protect 50 Cent, because now it wasn't just gossip. People genuinely believed 50 was in danger, real danger. The kind of danger that comes when powerful people feel cornered with nothing left to lose. A journalist tweeted, "You can tell who's guilty by how quiet they are." And it was true. Certain celebrities, ones who normally post constantly, suddenly went silent. No stories, no selfies, no sponsored posts. No new announcements, just silence. Fans noticed immediately. Funny how they went ghost after the vault pick. They know something is coming. Look at who's not posting, that's your list right there. Meanwhile, Instagram became a panic-driven PR machine. Influencers who had spent years boasting about Diddy parties now posted spiritual quotes. Sometimes the past tries to haunt you. Growth means leaving old friends behind. God is my witness. Fans dragged them ruthlessly. Why you praying now? Say what you did, not what you prayed. You scared of 50's vault? One singer, a very famous one, posted a vague message about truth being dangerous, and 50 immediately reposted it with, "It's dangerous for who though? Millions lost their minds." But the real panic began when the entertainment industry, journalists, bloggers, Hollywood insiders started speaking out. A major entertainment reporter said, "I've never seen celebrities this panicked before, not during award scandals, not during cheating scandals, not during Me Too. Whatever 50 has, it's huge." A Hollywood PR veteran tweeted, "Several major PR firms held emergency late-night calls last night. Some of the biggest names in the world are being coached on how to respond if Part 2 implicates them." That tweet alone caused a digital riot. Who needed coaching? Why were they preparing statements? What were they hiding? People began creating viral lists of celebrities who were close to Diddy for years, asking, "Why haven't they spoken up? Why are they quiet now?" The silence spoke louder than any denial ever could. Meanwhile, big podcast hosts jumped into the storm. One said, "If 50 Cent says someone's trying to eliminate him, believe him. He's survived things most of Hollywood couldn't handle." Another host warned, "The industry is very polished on the outside, but behind closed doors, people play dirty. 50 is exposing the whole machine." One journalist went even further. "Studio heads are terrified. Agents are terrified. The vault means 50 has leverage they can't stop." And then, unexpectedly, a former bodyguard, someone who worked for multiple celebrities, came forward anonymously and said, "You'd be shocked how many people don't want that documentary to come out. Some of them are icons, household names. This is bigger than anyone realizes." The interview trended within minutes. But the darkest reaction of all came from fans who had been following Hollywood scandals for years. They weren't shocked. They weren't confused. They were ready. "We want NAMES. Drop the tapes. 50 please, save the industry from itself. If they remove HIM, release everything." People even began organizing online movements demanding the documentary be protected and that all evidence be backed up publicly. But the final push into absolute mayhem came when a well-known actress tweeted, then deleted this, "Some people should have stayed quiet instead of exposing everyone." Fans screeched, "Who is everyone? What exactly did 50 expose? Why did you delete this?" And 50 responded with the coldest line of the night, "Oh yeah, you was there too." That tweet alone sent shockwaves through the entire entertainment world. Because for the first time ever, 50 Cent was directly implying that specific celebrities, A-listers, icons, legends, were physically present at events the public was not supposed to know about. And if he's willing to say that publicly, then Part 2 might not just destroy reputations. It might destroy careers, franchises, legacies, multi-million-dollar empires. Hollywood is officially in meltdown mode. And 50 Cent, he's getting ready for the final blow. By now, the entire entertainment industry understood one thing with absolute certainty. 50 Cent wasn't bluffing. He wasn't exaggerating. He wasn't being dramatic. He was walking calmly, publicly, and fearlessly toward a truth that Hollywood has spent decades trying to bury. And that's exactly why the final twist, the one nobody expected, sent a shockwave so violent through the industry that even people who swore they were clean started panicking. It began late at night, after midnight, when 50 posted a message that immediately looked different from anything he had shared before. The tone was cold, sharp, calculated. He wrote, "They made their move. Now it's my turn." The internet froze. What move? Who made it? What happened behind the scenes? Minutes later, he posted again, "They sent someone to talk to me, someone big, someone y'all love," and he wasn't joking. You could feel the seriousness dripping off every word. He continued, They said if I stop the doc, they'll handle a problem for me. I told them I don't need no help. The speculation went insane. Who approached him? A rapper, an actor, a billionaire, a former friend of Diddy, someone tied to the alleged network. Fans were already spiraling when 50 dropped the first real twist. They didn't come to offer a deal. They came to deliver a threat dressed as a favor. The entire entertainment world exploded. People begged him to explain more. Creators went live instantly. Twitter melted into chaos. What kind of threat? What did they say? What did they want? But 50 wasn't done. He posted the next message with a picture, not of anyone's face, but of the shoes the mystery celebrity was wearing when they met him. Designer shoes, limited edition. The kind worn only by the most elite names in Hollywood. He captioned it, "Y'all know who it was, they too scared to show their face." The internet went feral. Every blog, every gossip page, every entertainment account started analyzing the shoes. Zooming in, comparing designs, matching them to red carpet outfits. Within 20 minutes, fans had narrowed it down to 3 major celebrities, all of whom had long, complicated, suspicious connections to Diddy. And all 3 had been noticeably silent since the documentary news first dropped. But then came the real bombshell. 50 posted a voice memo, not the celebrity's voice, but his own. He recorded himself saying, "If anything happened to me, look at them 3 first." You could feel the world stop. This wasn't beef anymore. This wasn't petty. This wasn't marketing. This was a warning, a declaration, a preemptive statement to protect himself from whatever was coming next. People panicked. Celebrities panicked. Fans panicked. And Hollywood insiders started whispering anonymously to journalists. This is much deeper than people think. There are millions of dollars on the line. There are careers, marriages, entire brands that could fall apart. 50 has files that could ruin everything. But the darkest moment, the moment that signaled just how serious this war had become, came when 50 posted his final message of the night. Part 2 ain't the end, it's the beginning. There's a part 3. The comments section erupted. Part 3? Hollywood stopped breathing. Up until now, celebrities were terrified about 2 installments. But 3. 3 chapters of exposure. 3 rounds of evidence. 3 waves of names, footage, and stories being dragged into the light. Industry insiders immediately began scrambling. If Part 3 exists, that means he's holding back even more. He's planning a multi-stage release. This is a strategic takedown. He has years of material. And then, to make things even more haunting, 50 ended the night with one final message, a message that might go down as the most iconic cliffhanger of his career. "If they touch me, Part 3 drops first." That line spread across the internet like a wildfire. It wasn't just a threat. It wasn't just a warning. It was a chess move, the kind that told Hollywood, "You can't stop me. You can't silence me. You can't eliminate me. The truth is already scheduled." And now, the entire entertainment industry is sitting in the darkest suspense imaginable. Who approached 50? Who threatened him? Who is he planning to expose next? What's in Part 2? What horrors are waiting in Part 3? And how far will powerful people go to shut him down? The world is waiting for the next blow, and 50 Cent is holding the detonator. And now we stand right at the edge of the storm. The moment before Hollywood's carefully polished surface cracks open and the truth comes spilling out. Raw, uncontrollable, undeniable. Because everything we've seen so far, the vault photo, the panicked celebrities, the anonymous insiders, the threats disguised as warnings, the 3 names 50 circled without saying, all of it is building toward the most explosive chapter the entertainment industry has faced in years. Part 2 is coming, Part 3 is locked, the files are protected, the truth is scheduled. And the only question now is which celebrities survive this and which ones don't. But you, the viewers here right now, you've watched every twist unfold in real time. You've seen the fear dripping off Hollywood's silence. You've watched celebrities scramble for spiritual captions, PR-approved statements, and coded messages that reveal way more guilt than innocence. So I want to hear from you now. What do you think 50 Cent is holding in that vault? Who do you think is trying to silence him? Which 3 celebrities do you believe showed up with designer shoes and a threat disguised as a favor? And when Part 2 drops, whose careers do you think will collapse instantly? Drop your theory in the comments. Don't censor yourself, don't hold back, don't overthink it. This is the biggest industry unraveling we've seen in years, and your voice is part of this moment. You are witnessing something historic before it explodes onto every headline. And listen if you want to be here the second 50 drops the next clue. The second a celebrity slips up and exposes their own guilt. The second Part 2 or Part 3 releases. Make sure you like, Subscribe, turn on notifications, and stay completely locked into this channel. Because when the next bomb hits Hollywood, when the vault cracks open, when the names finally drop, you're going to want to be here first. This isn't an ending. This is a countdown.